Consciousness. My guest today is Bob Yonker, a musician who channels angels and spirit to tickle the ivories for healing and inspirational music. Hello, Bob.
Hi, Peter. Thanks for having me.
Could you please briefly tell you just a little bit about yourself?
Well, I've been living here in Santa Fe since 2005, previously from Pennsylvania. Started playing the piano when I was 4, just playing Yankee Doodle, simple little songs. Kind of always played what I felt like playing. Took some lessons for a while, but still never really got that great, other than just playing what I wanted to play. So, and then, I wanted to go into music as a career, but something, life happens, and ended up doing other things. And so I don't know what to say after quite a few years of just, using music as a hobby, which I got married, met my wife, Karen, and was playing something, and she's like, "Can you play that again?" And I said, "No," because usually what I play, it's one and done, and I play by ear, so if I hear it again, I can do it. But she's like, "Oh, no." She goes, so she started making me record everything, and that's kind of how it started, where I can now I have CDs out and such. So
Great. So this is what I'm interested in, the journey from a person who didn't think they could do this to expressing being awesome and making music that's just helping and healing many people. Let's start kind of at the beginning here.
Okay.
I've known you at least a dozen years,
Yeah.
and we've meditated together and all kinds of things. And when I met you, I remember that you always had the ability to connect to spirit in ways that I was jealous of. Can you tell me when you first started connecting with spirit?
Actually, I was thinking of that recently, and because I was doing something else, and I think it actually goes back to I was 6 years old.
Wow.
Something had happened to me in school, and I just started being able to, going into myself, but hearing God. I have a close relationship with Jesus. He's my go-to, and I just, for a while, when you're younger, you don't think of things like that, and it just was natural. And as I got a little older, then I started to think maybe there was something wrong with me, because I was hearing voices, and I was hearing these things, and was it who, so I kind of let it go for a while.
So when did you actually step up and say, there's something real here, I've got a great connection with my personal divine, and this is something I want to explore and learn from and be guided by? When did you make that move?
I really don't think if I think about it, I don't think I made that move till I moved to Santa Fe, and I met you, and I met this meditation group, the oneness group that I was in. And even then I was hesitant, and I was like, I was just kind of searching, and I was still rooted in the Christian religion, and like, oh, this is, woo-woo, and
Right.
but it just seemed like when I gave it a try. I kept an open mind, which is important, and I kept the open mind, and I just started listening more, and I'm like, okay, this isn't a fluke. This is what I heard when I was 6. This is who I heard. This is, now it's back. So this isn't a fluke.
So your divine Jesus was patient with you.
He was very patient
So
with me.
what shifted when you actually started giving it credence? Anything in your life change?
A lot changed. I just started to feel, I can't say I was in a total state of bliss. Life happens, and things would go, but I was able to, knowing that I had someone like Jesus and my angels that were actually there with me, I didn't feel like I was by myself. I felt like I had somebody to talk to. I could work things out. I just felt it was easier to put myself into positive states of mind, knowing that I'm not alone on this planet, and it's not just, not traveling through with just my wife and I, that, there is something beyond, and there's that help out there.
Great. So now, whenever I've been with you, not always, but a good majority of the time, you let me know that your guides and Jesus are communicating with you through humor. Tell me a little bit about that, because sometimes you can be like a very quiet, reserved guy, but when you share what's coming through you, it's just hilarious.
Yeah, growing up, I had a lot of family members who were jokesters, and I always used humor in school. My teachers would get after me sometimes because I would, be joking around or talking or doing something I wasn't supposed to, but I always found humor in most everything in life. There's ways to find humor, and I would use that. So I think my guides know that because of that, that's how they communicate with me. And I have, my wife will tell you that I have them, don't ever play Trivial Pursuit with me, because I have this mind that has all this little bits of trivia. I used to be a Saturday morning cartoon freak, so I have all these cartoon things in my mind. I still remember the theme songs, and that is the stuff that my guides will use when I'm, I'll ask a question, or I'll be trying to figure something out, and I'll get these little flashes of, them doing something with this cartoon routine or the comedian, and it just makes me laugh.
Do they use voices too?
Yeah, they'll use voices. Yeah, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, good. So your divine reaches you where you're at,
Where I am
and
at.
comes to you in a way that makes you happy and laughter.
Mhm.
Great.
Exactly.
Okay, so when did you first realize that you were awakened and made a shift from just a normal consciousness to an expanded consciousness, and what was that like?
Well, it actually happened at meditation at your house. I can't remember the year. It's got to be at least, it seems like 10 years already, maybe.
2011,
2000,
easy.
easy,
Yeah.
yeah. And for a few days after it happened, it startled me. I wasn't sure what was going on. I just remember those first couple of days, things just seemed brighter. I used to walk to work. I'm a school teacher, or was a school teacher. I'm retired now. I used to walk to work, and I'd be walking up the Arroyo, and it seemed like the stones would just be jumping up at me. And I think colors were brighter. Everything was more vivid, louder. And then it settled down, and again, I can't say I've been in a constant state of like, because that's not what it is. That's not what it is. It's just that, like I said, life happens, things happen, you're still human, but it's just easy. It's so much easier to get out of that funk, that, it's mindset. It's so easy to get into. It's so much easier to get into the positive mindset and get yourself out of that, and ask for the help that I know is out there with Jesus and my angels and my guides. And it's just it's just been a smoother flow of life.
Nice.
I don't know how to explain it. It's not, don't let awakening think that that's it. It's perfection, and it's not. You're still human. Emotions still come up. So.
Right. I know for me the journey is to just stay with what's present, stay with it. I still get in the rows with my wife. I still have fear and anger, but can I actually be with it? Because now I can. Now I feel supported. Now I'm aware of it. Now I see the bigger picture. That's been the journey for me.
Yeah, and that's exactly.
So now you told me that when you were younger, you played a lot of music for your church. And when did you realize that your music was a gift and could assist other people?
Again, I guess blame it on youthful ignorance. I didn't. I just played. It was fun. I enjoyed it. And a lot of times I played in secret, in hiding, which is why I liked the church, because I was always up in the choir loft where the organ was, and really nobody could see me up there. They could hear it, but they couldn't see me, so it was much more comfortable to play. And
yeah, I could tell just from this video. It's like, oh my God, you're on camera. You're being seen.
Yeah, I'm being seen. This is big. But yeah, I didn't even know then. I just remember a few times when I was thinking about stuff, how my mom would say that, oh, so-and-so went into church when they heard you practicing. So they went into church to sit down, and they just said how nice it was, and how much easier it was to get, say their prayers and stuff, just sitting in there with you listening. But again, I didn't think much of it until I basically met Karen, and my wife, and she started pointing out to me what the music was doing and how it was making her feel. And then I had joined a new church shortly after we got together, and she, in conjunction with the pastor of the church, kind of ganged up on me and put me into some program at the church. And so that was my first out, I guess. I was out. Now people in the whole congregation heard me, and then I started to realize, oh, so there's something here with this music. It does affect people. I turned, after I played the song that I played, people were crying, and I'm thinking, oh, was it that bad? Again, was it that bad? But no, they were crying because it just moved them. So, again, I started to realize, okay, there's something here.
Great. I know I've been to a couple of your house concerts, and it was like I was getting an energy transmission, a blessing, like hands on my head energy coming into me during the entire time. And I know you've composed a couple of songs that my meditation group regularly uses, and we're all just carried away whenever somebody comes the first time. They're like, wow, what's that music? Because there's an energy frequency there. Would you be willing to share a song with us today?
Sure, I can do that.
Great. Is there anything you can explain, any awareness you have on how your music becomes a vehicle for transmitting higher energies?
Um, I don't. It, I don't set out for my music to do that. I allow. I guess that's the word. I allow.
Allowing.
It's not when I sit down at the piano. I'm not like, oh, I'm going to sit down here and transmit this and that. I don't do that. That's not me. I just sit down to play because I like to play, and it's a mix. I think what happens when I know I'm learning now when it's just me, for the enjoyment of just sitting down and playing around, and then I know when, like, my guides or Jesus is trying to put something through, because I'll fixate on a certain couple of notes, or an entire song will just go through, like from start to finish, and I'll sit back and go, whoa, where'd that come from? It's like, okay, but so I'm getting good at distinguishing between what's supposed to be out for somebody or somebody to hear, or just for my own fun. And as far as I know, there's a lot about frequencies and the God frequency and the solfeggio frequencies and everything out there. I don't pay any attention to that. I just whatever my songs sound like, that's what they sound like. They may not hit those frequencies, but I know they're doing something for somebody.
Nice.
It's something that there's something in that song, whether it's frequency, whether it's just the notes, the combinations, but something that their guides are working with mine, knowing that they need to hear.
So let's go down that alley for just a second. Their guides work with yours. Now, I know you've recently started producing customized healing music for people. As soon as I heard that, I jumped and said, okay, what do you got for me? And what was produced was beautiful. Every time I play it, I get this energy uplift. It's just like I percolate really high. What goes on as far as connecting and making music specific to another?
For me, I ask, if I'm going to do it for somebody, I just ask that I get out of the way, essentially. I do ask my guides a few questions just so I know where to when I sit down, where to start. I'll just ask them like a question about, what note do you want me to start on? Something that's usually simple like that. What note do you want me to start on? They will tell me. I'll hear it. I'm like, okay, I'll start there. And how long should this be? And they'll give me a time length for how long it should be, and then that's it. I really don't, and the name of the person. That's all I want to know is the name. I don't, and they've told me too that I don't need this, because I never wanted to know. I don't want to know what's wrong with somebody. I don't want to know what it's for. If somebody's requesting a song for themselves for healing of some sort, that's all I need to know is their name. I just ask them for permission for their guides to work with my guides, to give them what is to put in this, the intention in this song of what they need, and it goes from there.
So when you say their guides work with your guides, you're basically referencing that we're in some kind of network, that spirit is connected in so many ways beyond just the physical, me looking at you. You want to speak to that at all?
Oh, it is, well, that network's a good way to put it. We're all connected. When people say we're all one, we are all one, including what's beyond, in my mind, what's beyond this plane of existence. I mean, when I truly believe in life after this, that we go on, and whatever your belief is, whether you come back or not, but we're all connected, and that veil, as some people refer to it, is not that thick, and I believe there's transmissions going back and forth all of the time. The consciousness that we have in our brain, it's not in our brain, it's out here, and we just vibrate at that frequency when we get that thought. So all the thoughts that have been thought to me, this is my own belief, all the thoughts that have ever been thought are out there, and if you hit that frequency, you can connect with that.
Yeah, I know the oneness teaching. There is thinking but no thinker.
Right.
That the thought sphere exists, and it's not in you. Your consciousness accesses it.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's cool. Any chance you could ask your guide if we could just connect in with who might be watching and listening in the future, and you can play a song that may just inspire?
I think I can.
Good. Okay, here's brand new, first time ever.
No idea what's going to come out, so they just gave me some notes.
Over the years, I've noticed that you were really reticent to bring forth your talents. And now, in the past year, you've been on the Enlightened Piano Network. You can type in Bob Yonker on Pandora and get a Bob Yonker channel. What other venues are you in? And can you tell me a little bit about what it was like to actually blossom, to see your awesomeness come out?
It's this is brand new. I mean, I am on, as Peter says, I'm on Pandora now. All of my CDs, I'm on Spotify. You can, pretty much all the streaming stations like Apple Music and Amazon and iTunes and those, you can find me. I'm on Sirius XM. A couple of my pieces are on Sirius.
Nice.
I got onto Sirius Radio. So it's still surreal to me. And as far as stepping into my awesomeness, I'm still hesitant to step into it and to believe that this is all happening. I'm excited, but I'm still. I do share my music a lot more, as Peter can attest. I'm more willing to play for people now, and that's not an issue so much. But I still have the doubt, the human doubts about, is it good enough and that, and I work through that with my guys. Like, obviously, I hear them like, duh, is usually what they tell me, duh. I'm like, okay.
The universal duh.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's been, it has been awesome. It's been great to get feedback, which I have been occasionally. I get feedback from people in Russia, people in Kazakhstan. It's like all these countries. I'll see a little blurb, so and so likes this track from. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like I'm here in Santa Fe and it's worldwide.
Yeah. So literally, the definition of awe implies an unknown, a mystery. It's not knowable, and therefore we're in awe.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of interesting to hear you say you're not really sure and believing it, and that's how I am all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow, that's why the most important prayer ever, that was awesome, more please.
Yeah.
Because that really just hits right to it. Can you give any suggestion or advice to somebody listening to this or watching this that what can help them become awesome?
For me, the biggest thing is to, aside from meditation, which is huge, and once I got into that, it's like I can't not do it anymore, and it doesn't have to be anything major. It can be like 10 minutes of just sitting in nature. You know, you don't have to sit there with music and all that. But anyway, some sort of meditation. I do it every morning. But my biggest thing that I've learned to do is just listen. I mean, and not listen with your ears. Listen with your higher self. Your just listen. Go deep and listen. And it really helps. What's really helped me lately is I have an entire. Well, I'm on my second notebook now. I start writing what I hear. And I just write. I don't edit. I just write. And when I go back, it's like, whoa, this is okay. And you will be amazed at what they tell you and what you're writing and then when you go back and read, it's like, wow. Okay.
Just go a little further on writing what you hear, because I'm not musically inclined in the way you are, and to me it seems like there's this universal knowledge. I've heard people call it the Da'at, the angelic library of knowledge. I've heard it called the Akashic Records, which is, everything that's happened. And I get the sense that it's all available, that it's right there. I just need to open for it and then just kind of use my mind as a library index. Okay, I'm thinking about this, consciousness takes me there, then I know things. That's kind of how my life is working now. I just kind of know things. Can you talk about knowing your music or what you know, if that resonates with you?
Yeah, I guess one example might be is when I just sit down and, like I said, I can fixate on a couple of notes and it just resonates. Whatever in those notes is something that they want me to hear, something they want me to do something with, and invariably a song will come out. And I record everything because if I don't, it'll never happen again. So I have to listen back to it and then I can play it again, because that's another thing. A lot of times when I'm doing this, I'm in some zone.
Somewhere else.
I'm somewhere else. So, I mean, I'm feeling the music, I'm hearing it, and it's my hand, and I can see everything, but it's like, it's not registering in my brain, I guess.
So you're like an observer without exactly in school memorizing.
Yeah, right, yeah. So I have recording device that I just plug in and keep going, and then that way, I can go back and listen to it, and I'm like, oh, okay, I like, and then I can work on it, develop it, or if it needs to be developed more. But yeah, and then I noticed too, it used to be difficult for me to change keys, like key signatures and things, and now I play a song and I'm like, oh, let's try it in this, and it's just like my hands find the notes without any issue. And I know if you're an accomplished piano player, I guess anybody can do that, but for me, like I said, it's kind of unique for me to be able to do that.
My big takeaway from listening to you is allowing. It's there, it's in you, you allow it, you open up to it, and you become awesome.
Yeah, it is allowing. And another one of my big things is I love listening to Abraham, and that's one of his big things, the art of allowing, just let it happen.
Nice. Any last words?
Just, listen, and you'll be amazed at what you hear, and stay blessed.
All right. Thank you so much, Bob.
Thank you, Peter.
Please help others become awesome. When you share, like, and subscribe, search engines are more likely to prompt others to enjoy becoming awesome.